Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition to Mind Your Own Business. We are very, very, very lucky today to have Joe Ballou here. I'll let him talk a little bit about himself in a moment. But one of the things we do in our podcast, as you know, is to try to look around the corner and help you as a business owner figure out what you don't know, because we all don't know what we don't know. And so, Joe, I really appreciate your time today. Welcome.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me, inviting me to this podcast. I'm excited to talk today.
And our pleasure to have you here. So first big question, as you talk to business owners right now, what are you hearing? What's going on out there?
Great question. Thank you for thinking that and asking me that. I've been going around the country a lot, speaking with a lot of different Vistage groups, and I get the benefit of hearing from them what's happening in their businesses and also what some of the trends are right now. And I'm sure as all of you listening are feeling the same pressures, we hear labor shortage, supply shortages. For me, what I like to really focus on from what I'm hearing is the tight labor market. And then also, hey, my company isn't doing X or Y technology, but my competitors are. And that's why I need to get started with technology, or that's why I am looking to you at your company to help me along in that area. But labor market is by far what I'm hearing the most with struggles that I know technology can help with.
Yeah, I mean, the labor situation is really interesting, but the trend to use, some call it digital, the others call it technology, to reinvent their businesses, to eliminate geographic barriers that I used to have and be able to grow myself beyond my brick and mortar, to go direct if I'm a manufacturer, is pretty incredible. And so you are the technology guru, and you are sitting here at a time when not only is it nice to do this stuff, but we almost have to. So can you break down, as a business owner, and most of my viewers are business owners, what and how we can address this labor problem, or maybe the customer experience digitally?
Yeah, happy to. And people should know that I have that same pains that everyone else is feeling. As a Vistage member, I'm hearing it and I'm also experiencing it. And what I like to do is how we can help offset that short labor market or handle this great resignation is through automation and AI. This is not something where we need to hire half of our company to be programmers and build from scratch. We can utilize softwares that are already out there. In the year 2022, we don't need to be building customized software that's costly and takes a long time to implement. We can use products that are already on the shelf, like HubSpot, which is a customer relationship management software, to automate and to help our sales department and to help our marketing and customer service. 3 departments all in one software that they know what they're doing, and it's quick and pretty painless to implement as long as you're looking at how to do it correctly and not trying to put a square peg into a round hole. And that really can make a difference and help utilize your current personnel as scalable and be able to let them focus and do more with the current information. So as your revenue is increasing, your company is growing, you become more scalable and don't have to increase the labor force at the same time.
Yeah, I was at a dinner last night with one of our Vistage members, and he shamefully admitted he went to a fast food restaurant because the wait at 2 other restaurants was long. I won't mention the name of it, but when he said he walked in, he was confused that there was no counter to get help from.
Right.
And he kind of wandered around and nobody really helped him. He was kind of, as a business owner, analyzing, what's really wrong. And he saw this kiosk and he walked over and had kind of fun ordering this food. He said, for he and his wife, he spent like $40 on fast food. But it was almost like an adventure. And that's a job that restaurant was able to repurpose to do, something that, maybe it's a cook or whatever. But if I'm in business right now, how do I think about this? Because it just seems like, fast food's doing this. You just talked about another application. How do I figure out what I need to do?
Yeah. For where I start with is I look at my processes, and that's what I would do with these companies is ask, what are your processes, and look for maybe the 10% that's easiest to tackle first, the mundane, the routine, the simpler tasks, and ask yourself, how can I automate that, or how can I eliminate that if it doesn't need to exist? And that's really where that technology starts to come into play. Is we look for the easy wins first, and then start to build on that. And over time, when you look back, you're going to be amazed at all that was automated or used with AI or eliminated altogether. But you don't want to tackle it all at once. We don't want to be that fast food restaurant that eliminates a position altogether. It's how can we systematically in iterations start to tackle our processes.
No. Yeah, and I imagine this, jumping off this, like climbing up the high diving board and walking out and looking down and saying, is this really a good idea? Technology generally means, change, learning curve, expensive. How do you suggest I, as an owner, I manage that fear?
I think it's a three-prong approach. You need to have the what you're looking to do, so that we're not diving off the diving board into the deep end without knowing how to swim. It's the when to implement it, because we need to be able to do it at the right time. Implementing the right idea at the wrong time can be just as costly as implementing the wrong idea. And you need the who. What we don't want to expect is the CEO or your VP of marketing or VP of sales to be the one leading the technology efforts. We need a business-minded CTO, a chief technology officer, or a VP of technology, whatever title you want to give this person, but someone that is specializing in technology to be able to run with this with you. But they need to be business focused and really business minded first, using technology to get us there. So that way we know we're finding the right tools and attacking the right area, the right problem first, and not just what the shiny thing is out there or what I heard at an event the other day or a conference that I attended.
Yeah. Now I'm a smaller company though, so these vice presidents and directors don't exist. I've got my head of sales and HR and me, maybe even not even that, but I want to get into this because as a smaller business, I can move faster. I can invest. In many cases, I've got a fair amount of cash. I'm coming out of the pandemic, and if I took advantage of what the government, offered, I've got dollars sitting here. I need to deploy that smartly. So what if I don't have that IT expert? What do I do?
You could reach out to a company like mine at eStrategic or others like it, where we focus on being that fractional chief technology officer for you. So it allows us to come into your business and help you sit on that, quote unquote, board with you or the exec team and listen to where the pain points are or where your strategy is going. So that way we can help guide that technology piece so we can use technology to achieve your 5-year mission, not to run parallel with it. But you can start fractionally and then build towards that full-time role if your business grows into that.
Smart. Now, one last thing, I've heard about Meta, and there's supposed to be a whole new virtual world out there where I'm going to go in and shop for groceries and it'll be delivered and so on. And so when I start thinking about some of the big out there ideas, it seems like some of those are not the first step. So
yes.
How do I sort of sift through all this stuff and really know where to put my first couple of steps?
Yeah, I definitely recommend we don't become meta overnight.
Yeah.
That is not a great first step. And we do need to take this agile approach where we need to have our short-term gains fund that long-term strategy. We may have a 10-year idea where our company needs to be, but we don't want to be there tomorrow, or we're going to grow too quickly, or we're going to have a failed product on our hands. So we do need to identify what is our first step. What are we looking to do first? Is that our internal customer, which would be helping our employees with automation or getting lean, or it could be looking externally at those customers and identifying what is that next step? Is it an app? Are we looking to be an on-demand profile so that they have real-time access to us? We need to see what is our long-term goal, what's our medium range goal, and then from there we take a portion of that and start building towards that vision. So that way we're not just looking short-term, but we're not taking a step too far.
Makes a lot of sense. So I know you do this for a living, and you have a tremendous reputation. And you're a Vistage member, so we know you're kind of open to learning and listening and not pushing something, but really helping me become the best I can at this. How would I reach out to you?
Yeah, there's a couple ways. As you said, I am a Vistage member. I love Vistage. I find that what they do and how they bring companies together is just phenomenal. And I'd like to be a part of that. I enjoy being able to speak and also be a member of it. So you can find me on the Vistage portal. And then you can also call me direct. My cell phone number is 520-820-7349. Either method works. Please go to Vistage and email me, reach out to me, or just call me direct.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time today. And this is any report you read on trends, you're right at the center of it. I mean, it's right at the center. And I'm talking to CEOs, which is what I do every day. Dealing with this is part of their first quarter plan, because it either has to happen because of labor issues, or it has to happen because of competitive issues. So anybody who's listening today, you want to have a conversation, this is the gentleman to see. So thanks for being here. I appreciate your valuable time.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time.
All right, you take care.
All right, bye.